Hey everybody, welcome back to Women Carry Knives. So as you know, I was on a little bit of a hiatus last week. I have caught myself a nasty little cold that's out there. I am getting better day by day, but yeah, this one really kicked my ass. Just gonna say it right out there. To start off with, if you guys are not a subscriber, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here all the time. Do me a favor and hit that like button when you're on your way out today because it does help the channel. All right, what are we going to look at today? Well, unfortunately, and I know you don't want to hear that word, we are looking at a knife that is not actually available in stores, but it is available on the secondary market if you can find it. Why am I reviewing it? Well, I review knives that I actually own, collect, or love. So you may not necessarily be able to find it in store, but you may be able to find it in the secondary market, as with this one. What is it, you ask? This is the HEA Venom. Let's do a little bit of a backstory on this one. So going back to 2019, my first knife was the HEA Designs Hunter. And I loved that knife. It was just phenomenal. So this knife actually started... Wait, what you making over there, Mr. Therapeutic?
Just some crackers.
Okay. This knife actually started with the Poison and Antidote over 5 years ago. And people really loved them so much that what they wanted to do is they wanted to revisit this knife in the future, making some changes to it. But in the meantime, they actually came out with... several other knives, and the whole time though they were still working on a new design. So what they really loved about it was this pill design, okay, which is really unique. I mean, it's not something you normally see, but it's really cool. So anyways, they love that pill design so much they wanted to make adjustments on it based on what they learned from the models over the last 2 years that they had, and then they ended up coming out with the Venom and the Elixir. Now, I don't have the Elixir, however, this is the Venom. So what are you going to get with this knife? This is an S35 VM blade with what they call their stylized spear point design. It's really cool. I mean, I don't even know how to explain this knife. You know, I see where they get the pill design from. It is just a really simple design, but yet so unique at the same time. And I really like that. You're going to see that and pardon me for the sniffles, you guys. You're going to see that your spine is fully rounded. And I love that because on a lot of knives, you can sometimes feel the spine of the knife. Because this is rounded, it is just so smooth and just lays nicely into the scales there, which is really, really cool. As I said, it is S35VN. You do have your detent cutouts here, which I like, or your frame lock cutouts, your finger cutouts, for lack of better wording. You have a very large cutout on your blade here. Now, it's not a finger flipper or a thumb roller. They basically did that to lighten the weight of the knife. It is super thin behind the edge. I do not have the measurements on that. The coloring of the blade, which hopefully you can see that in this light. But the way they've done it is they kind of used what they call a two-tone ceramic bead blast and then put a light stone wash on it with a hand-rubbed finish, which is really, really cool. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The handles are titanium. I love the fact that the interior of the scales, which... there's no way I'm going to be able to show this. Well, maybe if we can catch it just right. But the interior of the scales are actually carved out. And why'd they do that? Again, to reduce the weight of the knife, which is a phenomenal idea. I think it's really good. You have some, what they would call micro texturing. It's not something you can really see. You can definitely feel it, but it's not overly done, if that's the word I want to use. They don't overdo it. But it does give you a really good grip on this one. You also have the deep grooves, the deep milling on here, which is really nice. And overall, it just gives a great feel in hand. Your width on the scale, you know, you're looking at a full inch just over an inch actually. But it feels great in hand. As I always point out, I do have a 3-inch hand across and 4 inches diagonally. This one I tend to hold a little more diagonally. So as you can see, it is just under a 4-inch grip for me. But we'll get into the specs on the length because it is more than that. But feels just phenomenal in hand. Well, really well designed. I'm really loving this. Because of the width of the handle, you're getting a full, a full grip on that. So I think even though that is a smaller blade, I think larger hands would get a good grip on this one. And I do like that about it. If we take a look at the specs here, we are looking at a 1, 2, 3, about 3 3/4 inch blade with just over a 2 3/4 inch blade with just a hair over a 2.5 inch cutting edge. Your closed handle is going to be 3 inches, which is going to give you about a 6.5 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 inch overall knife. So it is not by any means a heavy knife. For its size, I might call it a little bit heavy, but not in a daunting way, if that makes any sense at all. You have all your pivots on here are a little anodized blue on there. You can see the HEA on that pivot right there. Fabulous design. You kind of have an offset lanyard hole there, which kind of makes it a little bit easier. Your lanyard's not going to be straight out the back. It might be to the side, but it is going to make it a little bit more comfortable. You have a nice low titanium pocket clip on there. You guys know I've been talking a lot about pocket clips. I have to tell you, I do not feel this pocket clip in my hand at all when holding the knife. Now, I can get higher up on it. I'm still not feeling it. I can hold it back some. It is not bothersome in any way, shape, or form to me. It is a frame lock. I'm kind of partial to, I'm really not partial to either frame locks or liner locks. I've been liking them both lately. Let's get a weight on this because I did not actually get that information. Let's take a little look here. And if we're going to go with ounces, we are looking at 3.5 ounces. So that is nice. If we want to take it as grams, we are looking at 100 even. So again, it's not a large knife by any means. I love that it's good for hand. Like I know Therapeutic Edge has had this in hand, and he says that it is comfortable in hand. I love that when you're choking up on it because it's rounded, it is not going to cause you any thumb fatigue or any wear, or it's not going to bother your thumb at all. Like I said, the micro milling on the raised part of the handle, super, super comfortable, gives you that little bit of grip, and then the deep contoured more milling is going to really just add to that altogether. So it really doesn't need jimping at all. Now there is jimping on your flipper tab. I don't feel like this knife would have really needed that, but that's okay. It's very, very smooth. And, it's a fun flipper. Can you guys hear that? I mean, doesn't that just have a fabulous sound? I really am liking this one. Now, as I said, my first one that I had gotten from HEA was the HEA Hunter. And that was a front flipper. That was another fabulous knife. I love that they really pay attention to detail. They really pay attention to what's going to work and not going to work. They listen to customers, pardon me, what customers want, what they don't want. They really spend their time, what's the word I'm looking for? Not really educating, but trying out, really seeing what they think is going to work, what can they make different in the design, and they take their time. So they're not afraid to take their time to do that, which is wonderful too. As I said, originally it started with the poison and the antidote, which is almost 5 years ago. In the meantime, they had 3 or 4 different ones that came out in between. All the while, as they were coming out with those, figuring out what worked, what didn't work, loving the pill shape, and then taking that and coming up with this one, the Venom. Absolutely wonderful. Awesome, awesome job. Great job, HEA. You guys, this one is definitely, if you have a chance to get one of these on the secondary market, I would highly suggest it. I think it is absolutely fabulous. It just, you know, size-wise, it rides in the pocket so nicely. For being so lightweight, it's just phenomenal. I love everything about it. And you've probably all noticed that I'm missing a fingernail. But I have 4 other ones. I never did fix that. Because you know why? Because I'm sick. And I don't care right now. All right, you guys, that has been a look at the HEA Designs Venom. Get a chance, get your hands on one of these, absolutely do it. It is a fabulous, fabulous knife, and it was really, in my opinion, it was done right. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, feel free to leave me a comment down in the comment section. You know I love talking to you guys, and until next time, take care.